Once upon a time, there lived an old man with his wife. The old man planted some turnip seeds. He watered them and cared for them. The seeds grew into plants. There were lots of turnips. The old man took good care of them. Out of all those turnips, there was one huge turnip. He had never seen a giant turnip before. Finally, the turnip stopped growing. The old man decided to pull it out of the ground. He pulled and pulled and pulled, but the giant turnip wouldn't budge. The old man called his wife for help. The wife held the old man, and the old man held the turnip top. Together they pulled and pulled and pulled. They called their son for help. Together they pulled and pulled and pulled, but the giant turnip wouldn't budge. They called their dog for help. Together they pulled and pulled and pulled, but the giant turnip still wouldn't budge. At last, they all called the little mouse for help. He crawled his way under the turnip and started nipping the roots with his teeth. While the little mouse nipped the roots, they kept pulling, and suddenly, pop! Out of the ground came the giant turnip. Everyone was pleased. That evening, they all enjoyed a delicious turnip supper. Even the little mouse. Once upon a time, Mommy Pig and her 3 little pigs lived in a blue house, but it was too small. So the pigs went out to find new homes. The first little pig built a house from straw. He was very happy with his straw house. The second little pig built a house from sticks. He was very happy with his wooden house. The third little pig wanted to build a house that was stronger than the other 2. He built his house from bricks. A big, bad wolf was roaming in the woods. He went to the first little pig's house. He looked inside the window and saw the first little pig. The big bad wolf huffed and puffed. He blew the house made from straw away. The first little pig ran to the second little pig's house. The big bad wolf went to the second little pig's stick house. He looked inside and saw the 2 little pigs. The big bad wolf huffed and puffed. He blew the house made from sticks away. The 2 little pigs ran to the third little pig's house. The big bad wolf went to the third little pig's house. He looked inside the window. He saw the 3 little pigs in the house together. The big bad wolf huffed and puffed, but he could not blow away the house made from bricks. The brick house was too strong for the wolf. The big bad wolf came up with a plan. He climbed up the roof to jump down the chimney. The wolf landed in a pot of boiling water. The 3 little pigs had put the pot on the fire underneath the chimney. The big bad wolf ran out of the house. The 3 little pigs were very happy. They lived happily ever after. Ugly Duckling. One day, Mother Duck was sitting in her nest with her little ducklings. They were waiting for one big egg to hatch. Soon, the big egg hatched. The duckling was different. It was bigger and ugly. Mother Duck hoped that the duckling would change. Mother Duck and the ducklings went swimming in the pond. The ugly duckling could swim much better than the other ducklings. Mother Duck took the ducklings to the farm. The farm animals saw the ugly duckling. They were mean to him. He became very sad. This continued for many days. One night, the ugly duckling went far, far away and fell asleep in a muddy marsh. The next morning, the ugly duckling met some wild ducks. They told him that he was ugly and asked him to leave. The ugly duckling was very sad. Months passed by, but nobody was ready to be his friend. One day, the ugly duckling saw 3 beautiful white swans swimming in a pond. The 3 swans said, "Hello, new swan." The ugly duckling told them that he was a duck. The swans told him to look at his reflection in the water. The ugly duckling was amazed. He had grown into a handsome white swan. He was no longer ugly. The 4 swans flew up in the sky. The children on the ground clapped as the Frog Prince. One day, a beautiful princess was playing catch with her golden ball near a pond. By mistake, she dropped the ball. It rolled down the bank and sank into the depths of the pond. "My golden ball is lost forever," said the princess.
I can find it for you,
croaked a frog. The princess hated frogs. She couldn't bear to look at him. But she said anyway, "I'll give you pearls and diamonds if you do."
I don't want pearls and diamonds. I want to eat from your plate, drink from your cup, and sleep in your bed. Will you promise me that?
"I promise," she said. The frog dived deep into the pond. He returned with the golden ball. The princess became very happy. She snatched it from the frog and ran away. That evening, the princess and her family were having dinner. There was a gentle knock at the door. A croaky voice called out,
Remember your promise, dear princess.
Who is that?
The king asked the princess. "A frog who found my lost ball. I promised to share my plate with him,"
Do as you promised.
thundered the king. Unwillingly, the princess picked up the frog. The frog ate from her plate and drank from her cup. She took him to her room. The frog hopped onto her bed and slept. The princess was disgusted. The frog ate from her plate and slept in her bed for 3 days. On the 4th evening, she heard a knock on the door. Standing at the door was a handsome prince. "Who are you?" stammered the princess. "I am a prince. A wicked witch turned me into a frog. Princess, you have been very kind to me. You have freed me from the spell.
Will you marry me?
The princess was enchanted with the handsome prince. She agreed immediately. They married and lived together happily ever after. Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there lived a girl near a forest. She always wore a red hood. Everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Mom asked Little Red Riding Hood to visit Grandma, who lived on the other side of the forest. Little Red Riding Hood went into the forest carrying a basket of fruits for Grandma. A big, bad wolf was watching her. The wolf asked Little Red Riding Hood, "Where are you going?"
I'm going to see Grandma,
she replied. The wolf suggested that she should pick some flowers for Grandma. As Little Red Riding Hood was picking the flowers, the wolf ran off. He wanted to get to Grandma's house before her. The wolf arrived at Grandma's house. She was sleeping in her bed. The hungry wolf swallowed her up. The wolf dressed himself in Grandma's clothes and climbed into her bed. Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. The wolf asked her to come in. Little Red Riding Hood entered and saw Grandma. She noticed that Grandma looked very strange. The wolf jumped out of the bed. Little Red Riding Hood screamed, "Wolf!" Little Red Riding Hood ran from the house. The wolf chased after her. A woodcutter saw them. The brave woodcutter picked the wolf up. He shook the wolf, and Grandma came out. She was safe. The wolf ran away. They thanked the woodcutter for helping them. Little Red Riding Hood promised Grandma to never talk to strangers again.